Welcome everybody, my name is Richard Walker, and today I'm going to introduce you to the newest John Taylor game, Campaign Petersburg, and also introduce you to the Wargame Design Studio, which helped design many of the new features that you are going to see. So after you've hit the launch button, you're going to see the file selection dialog. All the scenarios will be there. You can see nearly 200 of them. Don't forget to read the description, and you'll see the number of turns and the modes that you can play. Play by email is my personal favorite. I recommend that. So after you've hit OK, if you are playing against the artificial intelligence, there are 4 ways to play. As seen here, I would recommend the automatic with Fog of War because that's going to give you the most flavor in terms of playing against the Civil War. Quickly, if you click on the Rules button, you will see the newest feature, which is the Extreme Fog of War. With that feature, you're going to have very little information about the enemy. You will not even be able to see visible hexes unless you are actually occupying the hex. You will not be able to see what the enemy can see because you don't occupy the hex that the enemy is in. And you will not be able to see how many troops or even approximately how many troops the enemy has unless you have a clear line of sight in a clear hex. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to hit OK again. So now you will see that this is Union Turn 1. And you'll immediately be introduced to the 2D normal screen and the new toolbar, which you'll see that there's a lot more buttons than before, and they are color coded. With the newest 2D maps, you'll notice that this is a zoom out mode. There's also what's called extreme zoom out. Then we'll go back to the zoom out. And then there's the what we call the standard 2D mode. Once you pass the standard 2D mode, you get into the 3D maps. These are hand-drawn maps by Frank Mullins and his old Banshee team. And one of the things that you'll immediately see is that there are more features and more detail. And if you hit the plus sign again, where you can see more 2D, now you're really going to see something that's going to be eye-popping, because you're going to see regimental flags that are particular to each of the regiments involved, and you'll see that there are new color unit info in the info boxes. If you would like, you can still see some of the vintage stuff. If you go to the settings and go down to units and you'll hit non-color, you'll see that there is a refreshed black and white version. You can see more and more detailed black and white pictures. If you right click on it, you'll notice that there's a 10-pound parrot, and behold, you'll see a 10-pound parrot in the black and white. Going back to the color here though, I'm going to show you some other features here, like leaders. We have colored leader boxes now, and you'll notice that the Confederates are all colored as well, the Confederate flags and the individual units, and just basically a lot more detail for you to enjoy the game. If you prefer using the older standard toolbar, again, just go into the settings, hit toolbar, and you can hit classic small. And there you'll see the more familiar toolbar that is available on all the other games. And having mentioned that, by the way, I'd like to point out that all of the other games that are Civil War games for the John Taylor series is in the process of being updated, so that you will be able to see those up to the same standards that is now Campaign Petersburg. So I want to again thank you all for purchasing Campaign Petersburg. I hope that you will enjoy all the new features. Don't forget to hit the setting button so that you can see there are other things that you will notice that are different than the standard John Taylor Civil War series games. And I just think that if you go to each of the units, you'll just enjoy just looking at them. You know, all the new colored leaders, I think, are just eye-popping. You know, there's more detail everywhere, and it just makes for a more enjoyable experience. I think you will all realize that as you start playing, especially if you're familiar with the other games. And as enjoyable as those games are, I think you'll find the new features and the graphics involved in this game are just going to be spectacular for you. Enjoy Campaign Petersburg, and I'll see you on the battlefield.